Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Super happy to have you here. As you can see, I'm not Owen, who was supposed to present this webinar. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, so I'm taking over. I'm Valentine. I'm a product marketing manager here at Smappen, and I'm super happy to present this webinar and show you a bit of Smappen AI. No, it's not pre-recording, Nicholas. This is live. So this is live, and I'll be able to answer all of your questions. So please do put questions in the chat, and I'll be reading them and trying to answer as I go. To give you a bit of background around Smappen AI, obviously, as a company, it's something that we've been looking at, putting AI on our platform, but we didn't want to just add a layer. And so we kind of came up with the team and had a little bit of a discussion. We're not a big team, we're 25, so it's always easy to have a discussion. And what we realized and what really we wanted for Smappen AI is to not remove the map as the central element from Smappen, because we know that as franchise or multi-unit brands operator, the map is probably one of your daily tools. We still have some franchisors that have a physical map above their desk with their territory. And so we know how important a map is. And so we didn't want to just have, AI chat you can talk to. We really wanted to have an AI that can interact with the map, read the map, and so on. And so that's how we come up with Smappen AI, which is oh, it keeps cutting off. As I was saying, Smappen AI is an agent that is able to work on your map. So without further ado, I'm just going to start with sharing my screen. And basically what we're going to try to do during this webinar is act as a franchisor. So we're going to select one of our customer franchisor. It's Max Strength Fitness. They're a higher end fitness gym. No, it was just not you, Antoine. It was me. Sorry about this. So we're gonna use Max Strength Fitness. So they are higher end gym based in the US. They are a franchisor, and what we're gonna do is basically use their franchise, map their network on Smappen, but using Smappen AI. And then we're gonna analyze this network, see what best performing locations have in common, try to establish some success criteria that make a great location, a great territory for them, and then reciprocate the success criteria for the AI to kind of suggest new territories we should look at as a franchisor. So we're going to go through all of this. And before my first prompt, this is Smappen. For those of you who are customers, I think you're familiar with this map and this app. For those of you who are not customers, this is Smappen. So as I said, it's a map. And then we have two tabs, two panels. We have this panel on the left-hand side here that has everything you need to create areas, territories, etc., whatever you want to call it. So it's here, and then you have all of this analysis panel here on the right. And that's where you will find Smappen AI as well. So as I said, it's a chat. We've introduced some prompt for you to try out and get familiar with, but obviously, just like any AI, you can just insert whatever prompt, the better the outcome. I'm not teaching you anything here. And so we're gonna start sending our first prompt. And as I said, we're going to focus on Max Strength Fitness. So I'm just going to copy paste a prompt here. I'm send it, and then I'll start reading it, and we can see what we're trying to do here. So I'm a Max Strength Fitness franchisor. As I said, higher end gym aimed at a slightly older audience, offers nutritional consulting and post rehab services. And so the first thing I want to do is identify all the US location of this franchisor on the map. And so what TA is going to do, you're going to basically be able to look at all of the steps that it's going to take in order to respond to your questions. So you can always look at this and see where it's at. Obviously, it takes a bit of time for it to process everything, but it's usually quite, see, it starts drawing on the map That's amazing. And so depending on the request, it can take, you know, up to 2 or 3 minutes, just like any AI. And here it is. So it says they have successfully located and highlighted all 16 Max Strength Fitness locations across the US. And so we have the breakdown per state. So that's amazing. And basically, what it did is that it went into all points of interest feature here that allows you, that is basically a database of business locations in the US, but any other markets where Smappen is, so UK, Canada, Australia. We have a database of business locations, amenities as well. So you have schools, churches, hospitals. And so we have this database, and what it went to do, the AI, is go into that database and identify all the Max Strength Fitness locations in the US. And so it drew them on the map. So if I were to open this one, I can see here the address and the website. And just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna add a little logo here, which is the Max Strength Fitness, so I can really see that these are my locations. Okay, so that was super easy. And I'm gonna go with my second prompt, which is a bit of a heavier one. But what I want to do is that I know as a franchisor that my catchment areas, my coverage area that I usually award franchisee is between 100K and 150K people around each location. And I usually create them with drive time. So obviously, as a franchisor, you kind of know those. It's usually something that you've developed in-house, like you know what is your catchment area. I'm just going to send that. If you still figuring out because you're a new franchise, you can always ask the AI to be like, well, look, I'm a fitness brand. This is my target audience. What catchment area would you suggest? And you will have a few suggestions that will help you just, think through everything. Sometimes it's good to have a bit of a sparring partner for these things. But when you know what is an ideal catchment area for your franchise, you can just tell it to the AI, and then it will create those areas around the locations identified. Depending how long it's going to take, I might jump into one map that I've already done, just because I'm a cheater like that. But we're going to let it think a little bit more. One other tip that I like to give franchisors when evaluating their catchment areas is that you can import your customer data onto Smappen. So if you have a loyalty card, a loyalty program, basically if you have anywhere in your CRM or in an Excel file, your customers with their address is the important part, you can always plot them on the map on Smappen. And then what you can do is that you can turn that on and see like where is 80% of your customers. And usually where 80% of your customers is where your catchment area should be. So that can also be a way to be like, okay, I'm thinking of redesigning my territories to have better catchment area. That's one thing we can do with Smappen, which I like to show. Um, just like with any AI, whenever it's thinking, you can just do your own thing and it won't stop thinking. So you can go on LinkedIn and you can check your emails, and you can also do other things on Snap, and you will have a little notification when it's done thinking. I'm just going to show you now like what it's done. So I literally gave the same prompts earlier today, and it has successfully created and saved optimized drive time catchment area around the location. So you can see them here, and basically you have your network built super quickly. So yeah, it even gives you the breakdown of what each catchment area is in terms of drive time and in terms of the population that's in there, which is, I think, pretty great. Let's see if it's done. Yay! Okay, so successfully created and optimized the drive time catchment area. Okay, so we can see now on the left-hand side that the catchment area have been drawn, which is amazing. So we see them appear here. And yeah, this is basically your network mapped in a few minutes. Daniel is asking, when do you integrate the points of interest for Germany? Well, we just launched Spain yesterday. Germany is, we've had a few incoming requests coming from Germany. We have not prioritized it yet on the roadmap, but who knows? It might be the next country we open. So stay tuned, Daniel. Um, and so now that we have our catchment areas here, um, I want to ask the AI. I want to be like, okay, well, I'm a franchisor. I know my business. I know what are my best performing locations because I I check the performances of my franchisee, and I know that my best performing location are Flower Mound and McKinney in Texas. So I want to ask Smappen AI to analyze what these two locations have in common. I want that analysis to focus on shared demographics, on co-tenant characteristics, so what kind of businesses you have around the locations, and identify the key patterns and insight that could help explain the strong performance. I think this is something that is always fun and nice to run as a franchisor, even if you establish one. It's always good to get like a bit of a sense check of things that you might have missed about what makes a good locations. So obviously the AI doesn't know anything about you know uh, other stuff that are not on Smappen. So like your franchisee, the marketing that has the marketing budget that has been spent on that franchise location. So this is not taken into account. This is only looking at demographics and what businesses are around. But yeah, I think it's always a good thought starter. So it has finished its analysis, and so what we're looking at is both location are exceptionally wealthy, highly educated, and suburban. Okay, so we looked at the median household income, which is quite high um, in both locations, highly educated population, and mature age profile, with a median age around 42 years old. Okay, and then we have around some high synergy co-tenants. So because Max Strength Fitness is not a traditional bodybuilder gym, but rather focuses on post rehab and nutritional consulting, um, yeah, physical therapy and rehab clinics, as well as wellness and nutrition stores, or usually around the location of the fitness gyms. And yeah, because that's super interesting. I wonder now if it has created a points of interest. No, I'm just going to ask the AI to say, create uh, the um, relevant points of interest for physical and wellness. There we go. Because I want to see them in the map. Those shops and clinics. Greg is asking, does AI memory persist? For example, future AI chat know that you're telling your max strength fitness without retelling via prompt? It's a good question. So the context is staying within one chat. But if you were to change chat, then it starts from zero. So within the same chat, you can reuse it as much as you like, and it will keep the context. You can always try to be like, remember what we said earlier. But yeah, whenever you switch chat, it won't remember anything you just said. So it's always good to give as much context as possible whenever you start a new chat. We are in beta, so maybe in medium range, you will be able, as a customer of Smappen, to put a lot of your profile, like what kind of franchise you are, what kind of multi-unit brand you are in your profile, and the AI will be able to pick it up and build the context for you. But obviously, yeah, just like with any other AI, the more information you get, the better it is. But yeah, so now the map went a little crazy, which is normal. It's not a bug, because we see that the AI has created the physical therapy rehab points of interest and wellness and nutrition shops. So if I were to open one uh, area here that it has created, I can really zoom in on those points of interest and see Beverly Hills Rejuvenation Center. Okay, that can be interesting. Uh, that's probably a doctor. But yeah, fitness for women, etc., etc. So we have all of those points of interest, and what you can do is that you can always download those points of interest and the data, and what you will have is let me share that on here. You will have a list on Excel with a bunch of phone number and addresses and basically the whole list of the points of interest within the area that you're interested in. Franchisees use it mostly for two things. The first one, to really show the potential of a territory to potential franchisees and really show them that, like, you have potential referrers, like people that can help you find your first customers. So that's great on the sales process to just show that list and show that this is what your territory looks like. And it's also good post sales to get your franchisee startup, like get them that list so they can start their prospection, start their local marketing, and so on. So yeah, I love this feature. But now that we've mapped these co-tenants, I also want to make sure I have mapped the demographics that have been identified as success criteria, or things that are important for territory to be successful. So the prompt I'm copy pasting here is basically that. Can you turn this insight into specific metrics and benchmark that I can use to evaluate and compare my existing location? Let's see if it has understood. Yeah, okay, it looks like it has understood because it's giving the median household income metric, the physical therapy and rehab density metric, and so on. Okay, so it has created now on my metrics, which is your dashboard, those things that we've been looking at. So median household income, physical therapy and rehab, wellness and nutrition density. So you have everything in one dashboard, which is called My Metrics, which is where you can basically have all of the success criteria at once instead of scrolling through like all of those different tabs. So this is what's good about this view. And it hasn't created everything. So, when it hasn't created everything, you can be like, okay, create the median age metric as well, please. Always be nice to an AI. And while it does this, I have a question for Greg. Curious to which models you're connecting. So we're connecting with Gemini from Google. That's the one we have now for the beta. It might evolve. You know how AI changes almost every day. So depending on what is the best model for geospatial, we might reconsider our choice. But for now, it's running on Gemini Google. And so now it has created my median age, which is great. And so now what I can do, and I think Abby, it's going to answer your questions. Basically, you can select whatever area has been created here, and everything will change here. So you will have the median household income of this area. It's a bit long, but which one is it? It's the Spokane Valley one. So whenever you change the area on that panel, the metrics will focus on this area. And if I go to the points of interest, I will be able to see those points of interest within that area. So I hope that answers your questions. So that's that. And now that we have success criteria here, which is a mix of demographics and a mix of businesses that could bring us some clients and customers, we're gonna ask, well, based on all of this, can you suggest other territories, other locations I should look at for my expansion, because these are all of my already existing areas and I want to open new territories. So I'm just going to ask the AI to make some guesses and make some recommendations based on all of this to suggest this. This request I know is a bit heavy, so let's see if I have to jump to my cheating dashboards. But here you can follow your token consumption. I think we're all getting a bit familiar on how AI works. Depending on the request, the prompt you send, it uses more or less tokens. We try to always optimize the performance so that it doesn't burn tokens very easily. But I know for some of you that have used Smappen AI when it launched, one prompt might have had burnt all of your tokens. But we've done better and we keep improving on this. But yeah, this is where you can track your tokens here. You can always pause the AI if you see that this is not coherent and they're going into the wrong direction. And your chats saved as well, up to 5 chats. So as I said, you can always come back to a chat where you have a lot of context if you want to follow. Yeah, if you've been having a great conversation with Smappen AI, you can always come back to that conversation if there's no other location conversation that have deleted it basically. Okay, so it's working well. And maybe one other thing that I can show you what it's thinking is two things. The first one is that we've had a few customers using Whisper Flow in order to dictate whatever they want to type with Smappen AI, and it's been working super well for them. So we got this feedback from customers. So Whisper Flow is something that you put on your computer. This is not sponsored. It's just a great tip that I'm giving here. But it's basically speech to text app that you plug onto your laptop. And some customers have been using them to just talk to the AI and everything is typed down. And that way you give a lot of context without having to type it thoroughly. So that's a little tip for you. And one other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is that we have a help center at Smappen, which you can access, well, from the app, but you can also access from here, the help center. And within the Smappen AI article, we've been putting a few example prompts that can help you go further with Smappen, and we'll keep enriching it as we receive more feedback from you. So don't hesitate to just link up with your customer success manager for those of you who are already customers with Smappen. And for the rest, you can reach out to our sales team and they'll be happy to guide you on how to best leverage Smappen AI for your use case. But while it's thinking, I'm just going to jump to my cheating screen and show you what it did. So it has identified 5 premium suburban expansion markets and has generated the drive time catchment area to make sure they also have a target of 100K and 150K residents, which is great. And these are the suggestion with the justification on why this could be a nice expansion, like a nice location to look at. So yeah, this is I think this is kind of brilliant just to get like a thought starter. Sometimes you're just very lonely in front of your computer having to look up for new location that you could potentially open. So this is just a great way to get the conversation started. So yeah, I love how it gives a bit of context as well on why this has been selected. And so you see that it has also created a new folder that I've renamed later. But basically now we have a folder with the suggestions from Smappen AI. And then we have the location that we have mapped earlier, the sold location, if we were to speak into like a franchise or vocabulary. So these are sold and these are available. And why I like to color code them, I see that these one are not color coded. You can ask Smappen AI to color code them as well, which can gain a few more minutes of your life. I like to color code them because then we have this great feature that I like. If your map is public, you can embed it on your website, which is a piece of code that you just copy paste onto your website. I'm sure now with Cloud Code or any AI, you can do that by yourself. And like, for example, if you're a franchise that has a franchise recruitment page where you promote like why people should apply to become a franchisee, you can always put your Smappen map with your hot territories that you're looking to sell, and you can just embed this map. And I think it will be a great way to make sure your leads are as qualitative as possible on this website. So that's an integration I like to do. Let's say that. Oh wow, long request. It's usually not that long, but it's okay. So If I were to look at one of the areas that has been created as part of a suggestion of where we should look at next. The last thing I asked the AI to do is to convert these new catchment areas into zip code areas. Remember, I asked it to build it into drive time because this is something at Max Strength Fitness that we like to do because we know people are not going to drive an hour to go to the gym. So we know that the drive time doesn't have to exceed, a certain amount of minutes. But then if you want to put that territory and sell it into a franchise agreement, um, we always advise our franchisor to then transform this territory from a drive time area to a zip code or postal code or postcode, depending on where you are in the world. Um, Zip code if you're in the US. But yeah, to basically transform this territory from a drive time area to a zip code area. Why? Because zip codes can't really be disputed. Uh, they're set, they're given by the government or whatever body takes care of this in your country. And so it's a great way to avoid disputes with your franchisees when it comes to what kind of protected territories they have. And so that's what I asked the AI to do, and it has changed it to zip code areas. And then the last thing I really want to show you, and it's funny how it says it, but yeah, it says that you can also use the zip codes to use for direct mail marketing agency or franchise development teams to run hyper targeted local campaigns. Because I don't know if you use Google or Meta for any of your franchisee recruitment, but they're usually based on postcodes. So where your ads is going to appear is based on a postcode, so that can also be useful to make sure you target the right audience in those tools to have postcode or zip code areas. And the last thing I want to do is like once you have your area, you have mapped your points of interest and you have your metrics, you can just download the report of that area. And whenever you have a franchisee that is interested in potentially buying this, or like a candidate that is interested in buying this territory, you can just send them this report that will have like the zone, the catchment area drawn up with all of the points of interest and the first with the addresses that we saw, the contact details that we saw, and what you will have is also some key demographics of that territory, which I think is a great sale asset for whenever you're trying to sell a territory, because it really shows like why you picked that territory and not something else. So this is how it looks like, and you will see like all the demographics. Oh, open it twice, cannot. All the demographics compared to the US average because we're in the US, and so much more information. And you will have the points of interest with the addresses here. And if you want the contact details, you go here and you download it here. And that's really it for the tour. I don't know if there's more questions. I don't know if I've answered some of your questions. If you have more, please write them in the chat. As I said earlier, this has been recorded. And so if you've subscribed to the webinar, you will receive the recording that you'll be able to watch again to get inspired for your prompts and also to share with some of your colleagues. Yes, so that is, let me whisper flow. Yeah, thanks, Richard. I think this is the right spelling. That's very good. Any new features to provide insight on cannibalization or catchment areas? Yes. So we don't have any upcoming feature regarding this for now. We are just gonna. So no, but I don't know if you're aware of. Let me try to create an area that cannibalize one here. And I'm going to show you something that I don't know if you know it. Oh, it doesn't want to. Okay. Oh, let me cancel that. Let me create a new area. from here. This is my starting address. True. There we go. There we go. Was a bit slow. Um, I'm gonna, on purpose, put an area that kind of cannibal is. I'm not really gonna be able to say that word, so sorry about that. You see that this area overlaps with this one, and what you can do is that you can highlight the overlap here and see like what's the population within that overlap. If the overlap, has too much of your population, maybe that's going to be an issue for your protected territory. And so you want to solve that. And if you also want to subtract to make sure this doesn't overlap anymore, you can do it, and then you will have two catchment areas that don't overlap anymore. So we have this feature, which I know is a bit hard to find. You basically have to do a right click, and you will be able to have a few operations here laid out, which is subtract the cannibalization area, merge, or highlight the overlap so you can see the demographic of that overlap. That's what we have for now. And yeah, if you have any other needs, you always have our chat where you can ask things, and you can also have your customer success manager, and we track all of the requests. And every Thursday, as a team, we vote on those requests. So this is the background of how it works at Smappen, but we do read all of your feedback. And if you need more features or for this, we're happy to look into it. Okay. Well, I hope this was useful. And yeah, if you want more details about how to use Smappen AI, don't hesitate to reach out to your customer success manager. If you're not yet a Smappen customers, we'll be happy to um, look at your territories and your map and help you um, yeah, help you sort that out. So if you need a market analysis, a one-on-one market analysis, you can book it. Dorian, who's head of North America when it comes to new customers, will be happy to help you analyze your market and help you see how we can help you sell more franchise and map your network. So that's it for now. I'm just going to end the live, and pleasure seeing you all. I have a last call for Emma. We've perfected a prompt for individual territory creation. Is there a way to save that prompt for future? Yes, as I said, it does only save the last 5 chats. So now we don't have a feature that would allow you to save those prompts, but that's good feedback. And I'll send that to the team. Thank you, Emma. For now, I'll just put it on your notes and reuse it whenever, I guess. That's my only advice. But yeah, okay, bye everybody.